Beloved child of light, hear now the urgent voice of Archangel Michael as it pierces the veil of uncertainty and reaches directly into the very core of your being, for this is not a message to be taken lightly, nor is it one to be delayed, but a divine summons calling you to rise into the fullness of who you are and who you were created to become. And I tell you this with urgency because time is a fragile current and every breath you take carries the weight of eternal purpose. So listen with your heart, with your soul, and with the unwavering attention of one who has waited lifetimes for this moment, because you have been chosen, prepared, and guided to hear these words at precisely this time. And in this sacred hour, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael stand united in divine light and purpose, gathering around you not as distant celestial beings but as ever-present companions who are invested fully in your awakening, your healing, and your divine mission, for they are not here to inspire you with fleeting comfort but to guide you into the living reality of your destiny. And so the sacred gathering of the archangels becomes a council of love surrounding you, protecting you, and ensuring that no darkness can extinguish the flame burning within your spirit. And as you open to their presence, you will feel Michael's sword cutting through illusions, Gabriel's voice declaring revelations that break the chains of confusion, and Raphael's healing balm restoring the wounds of body and soul, for each one plays a role in your transformation, and together they form the unbreakable shield of heaven around you. And now the veil between heaven and earth grows thin, so thin that what was once hidden behind layers of doubt, fear, and worldly distraction is now available for you to see, to know, and to claim. Yet understand this clearly: when the veil opens, it does not remain open forever, and the universe is asking you to seize this sacred window before it slips away, for within it lies the recognition of who you truly are, the revelation of your sacred bloodline that connects you to an ancient, powerful, and divine lineage that has carried within it the codes of transformation and healing for humanity, and you, beloved, are the living continuation of that bloodline, destined to awaken those codes within yourself so that the light of your ancestors and the wisdom of heaven can flow through you into the world. And though you may have doubted or struggled to believe such truths about yourself, every challenge you have faced, every trial you have endured, and every wound you have carried has been preparing you for this very moment. Because within those trials the seeds of divine strength have been planted, watered, and nurtured, and now they are ready to bloom into the power of your awakened soul. So do not despise the hardships of your journey, for they were never meant to break you but to forge you into the vessel capable of carrying the fire of heaven. And now the immediate call is upon you, and it is not one you can postpone or hesitate over, for you are given only a short span of divine grace to open fully, to receive completely, and to accept without resistance the sacred message being poured into your spirit. And hesitation in this moment risks losing the alignment of heaven's timing and the blessings prepared for you. So breathe deeply, center yourself, and declare silently within that you are ready, willing, and open, because when you choose acceptance, the archangels move swiftly to empower and uplift you, protecting you from the deception and attacks of hidden enemies who would attempt to smother your awakening. For make no mistake, forces of darkness do exist, and they fear your light. Yet though they may try to hinder you, they are powerless when you stand in the presence of divine truth, because the light of God cuts through all deception and radiates around you as an impenetrable shield. And as you remember this truth, you will begin to perceive your divine mission, unique abilities, and the sacred responsibility placed within your spirit. For you have not been sent to this earth by chance, nor have your gifts been given without purpose, but you have been chosen to lead, to transform, and to guide humanity with the very powers that lie dormant within you. And though you may have believed yourself small or unworthy, your courage, intuition, and inner wisdom are urgently needed by the world, and they are not yours alone but are infused with heavenly strength. And here lies the great importance of trust and immediate acceptance. For when you trust the message and open your heart fully, God and the archangels unlock their protection and empowerment over you, lifting you above fear and uncertainty. Yet when you resist or doubt, the door to your divine inheritance remains closed. And this is why acceptance is not a passive act but an active key that opens realms of light, wisdom, and destiny. And so feel the heavenly support surrounding you even now, the encircling presence of angels who stand as guardians, messengers, and warriors of divine love, and let their presence create within you a sense of unshakable strength, of luminous clarity, and of peace that surpasses all understanding. For you are never alone, you are never without guidance, and you are never outside the circle of divine protection. And because this moment is sacred, because the alignment of heaven is upon you, there is urgency, sacred urgency that demands your immediate awakening, for cosmic forces converge to set into motion your destiny, and any delay, any hesitation, or any refusal to act obstructs the flow of blessings waiting to pour into your life. And so the unveiling of hidden knowledge and power is taking place now, revealing your true identity, sacred mission, and eternal path. And once you receive this knowledge, it will forever alter the way you see yourself and the world, lifting you from ordinary perception into divine awareness. And as this knowledge dawns upon you, the weight and gift of your divine inheritance will also become clear, for your purpose is not a burden laid upon you to crush your spirit, but a sacred responsibility designed to empower and uplift you, supported always by heaven. For the plans written for you were prepared before your birth and inscribed in the eternal records of light. And when you embrace them, you embody the highest vision heaven has always seen in you. And with this embrace you step fully into your destiny, becoming the living bridge between heaven and earth, a radiant beacon of divine will, chosen not only to carry gifts but to shine them forth for the illumination of the world. And so I tell you now, rise, awaken, and embrace the fullness of who you are, for the time is now, and heaven waits for your yes. Feel the subtle shifts now as spiritual signs and sensations begin to affirm the truth of what you are hearing, chills that ripple through your body, gentle vibrations that rise and fall like a sacred tide, sudden flashes of light that appear at the edge of your vision, and moments of synchronicity when doors open unexpectedly and meaningful coincidences align to guide you forward. These are not random. They are confirmations from the heavens that you are crossing a threshold into awakening, and when you notice them, honor them, for they are the breadcrumbs of the divine path laid out to lead you home. Know too that angels plead with you to release fear, to let go of doubt and hesitation, for these are the very chains that have kept your brilliance dimmed, and as you surrender them you will feel trust like a warm current washing away worry and aligning you with protection and divine will, because trust is not blind. It is a knowing that the shield of heaven is real and that Michael stands ready to remove obstacles, to sever entangling cords, and to defend the sacred work you have been given, and this protection is eternal in nature, sustained as long as you hold to the truth and walk in obedience to your inner guidance, not as punishment for failing but as loving correction and provision designed to keep you steady as you navigate the spiritual terrain ahead. Understand, beloved, that overcoming fear is an active choice, one you make moment by moment, so begin each day by anchoring yourself in remembrance. Call upon Michael to surround you, ask Gabriel to clarify your message, and invite Raphael to restore your health and courage, and then move forward in small, sacred acts that honor your purpose, for action births momentum and momentum breaks the power of the old stories that say you are not enough. And with each step taken in faith, you will notice your nervous system habituating to courage, your vision sharpening, and your inner compass recalibrating to divine truth. And when doubt returns, for it will, as old patterns are persistent, remember that the cosmic battle has been waged across ages, but the forces of darkness are already weakened by your rising light. They may attempt to whisper discouragement, to replay old fears, or to distract you with petty dramas. Yet these attempts serve only to reveal how potent your awakening is becoming, and you are not required to engage. Simply name the fear, hand it to Michael, and allow the sword of truth to dissolve its hold. For your role is not to slay in hatred but to stand in love and clarity, to witness the transformation of what once bound you and to reclaim your sovereign identity as a divine being on earth. And as you do so, the heavenly support grows more tangible. Encounters with kindred spirits who mirror your mission will appear, mentors and helpers will cross your path, doors of opportunity will swing open, and resources will align as if orchestrated by an unseen hand, because the universe loves to collaborate with those who answer their call, and your acceptance accelerates this sacred choreography, allowing planes of assistance, from angelic to human, to converge in service of your purpose. Feel the transformative power of your acceptance now, for it is a catalytic force that reshapes destiny across generations, not only altering the course of your life but impacting the lives of those you touch and the lineage that follows you. And this is why what you do matters. Beyond the scope of immediate gain, your choices ripple into the collective field, shifting patterns, revealing truths, and sparking awakenings in others who are waiting for a living example of courage and love. And so when you accept, your action ignites the celestial plan and sets in motion blessings that echo through time, a legacy of light that stands as proof that heaven's design for humanity is being reclaimed. As clarity unfolds, you will begin to see patterns and connections that were previously invisible, threads of synchronicity, recurring numbers, meaningful dreams, and inner knowing that stitches together the tapestry of your life. And these revelations will confirm your sacred mission, showing you where to place your energy, who to trust, and which projects to pursue. And with that knowledge come practical responsibilities. To steward your gifts wisely, to honor rest and self-care so your vessel remains strong, and to seek counsel when necessary so that pride does not distort the message you carry, because humility keeps the channel clear while wisdom guides the application of power. Remember also the roles of the archangels in your day-to-day. Michael will continue to be your protector and clarifier, cutting away illusion and strengthening boundaries so you may serve without losing yourself. Gabriel will amplify your voice and reveal the right words and timing to speak, helping you deliver revelations that heal and awaken receptive hearts. Raphael will tend to your body, mind, and spirit, bringing restoration where trauma has left its mark and aligning your inner landscape with the bright frequency you are meant to broadcast. And together they coordinate in ways that are both gentle and mighty, intervening when you call and weaving opportunities into your path when you walk in alignment. Practical steps now. Create a daily ritual of connection, 3 deep breaths into your heart, a simple offering of gratitude, a spoken invitation for archangelic guidance, and then 1 intentional action toward your mission. This small practice trains your spirit to respond rapidly to divine direction and builds the muscle of obedience that opens larger portals of blessing. Guard your energy by releasing relationships or situations that drain you without reciprocal growth, and invest in those that encourage your expansion. For your environment profoundly influences the speed of your awakening, and you are called to curate one that reflects the sanctity of your purpose. Finally, know that as your clarity deepens, you will inherit both weight and gift, responsibilities that will ask courage, compassion, and discernment. But you will not carry these alone, For heaven equips every step with support, strategy, and the subtle cues of guidance. And when you feel the overwhelming sweep of purpose, remember to breathe, to ground, and to celebrate the small victories, for they are the milestones of a life being rewritten by divine hands. So rise now. Beloved soul, feel the confirmation of signs. Let trust dissolve fear. Accept the eternal protection offered. Act in the sacred urgency given, and watch as your life becomes an instrument of the highest light, a testimony that the Archangels' gathering was not a myth but a present reality, and that your yes today preserves the legacy of tomorrow. Now, beloved, move deeper into the sacred unfolding as the next wave of divine clarity and revelation pours through you. For this phase is about integrating what has been revealed into living action and refining the map of your soul's work so that every thought, choice, and encounter aligns with the blueprint written in the heavens. As you proceed, expect the tapestry of your life to rearrange itself around higher purpose. Old attachments will loosen, priorities will realign, and what no longer serves the mission will gracefully fall away, making room for relationships, resources, and opportunities that resonate with your true frequency. And while this process can feel disorienting at first, remember that disintegration is a holy prerequisite for recombination into something more luminous. So do not fear the dismantling of familiar structures, for they are being dismantled to birth systems that hold greater truth and integrity. And alongside this dismantling you will be offered divine strategies, simple, practical, and effective, that will help you steward your awakening with humility and wisdom. Begin by distinguishing between urgent noise and the still, small voice that moves from within, because the world will always produce clamor that seeks your attention, but your task is to respond to the inner directive that resonates with peace even in the midst of activity, and to cultivate discernment practice. Set aside daily silence to listen, journal the insights that arise, and then test those nudges in small, low-risk ways to confirm their truth through results. For true guidance will bear fruit and create harmony rather than chaos. And as you practice this method, you will find your inner GPS recalibrating to heavenly coordinates, making your decisions more precise and your path less meandering. Know too that you are called to be a living translator between realms, someone who takes the high-frequency downloads of spirit and renders them in human terms so others can comprehend, embrace, and embody them, and this requires both vision and translation skills, clarity of message, compassion in delivery, and patience with those who are not yet awake. For the work of awakening the many is not a sprint but a careful, persistent tending, and you will be most effective when your own life becomes a coherent demonstration of what you teach. When your presence alone carries the proof that spiritual principles work in the everyday world. As your mission gains traction, expect resistance, not as a sign of failure but as confirmation that you are moving the edges of collective consciousness. Critics, skeptics, and those invested in the status quo may push back, and sometimes this will be loud and even painful. Yet everything that opposes influx of light reveals where healing and re-education are required, and you are not called to argue in aggression but to stand in calm authority, to hold boundaries, and to let the resonance of your being answer rather than the clamor of argument, because true power is quiet and unafraid, and it transforms by presence more than by protest. So cultivate equanimity, practice clear communication, and enlist lawful, loving interventions from the archangels when opposition intensifies, calling Michael to sever dishonoring influence, Gabriel to give you words that disarm and heal, and Raphael to mend any wounds inflicted by the struggle, remembering always that every encounter, even conflict, contains the seed of reconciliation and growth if met with sacred intention. Practical stewardship of your gifts will also require structure. Create a rhythm of work and rest that honors your energy cycles. Schedule times for creative flow when inspiration is highest, and protect recovery periods when integration occurs, because spiritual breakthroughs require both ecstatic expression and contemplative absorption. And without rest, the vessel cannot hold the light you are channeling. Set aside weekly check-ins with yourself to evaluate progress, celebrate wins, adjust plans, and recalibrate intentions so that you remain accountable to the divine plan while flexible to the ways it expresses through human circumstances, and in moments of doubt return to the simple practices that root you: breath, prayer, gratitude, and song, which reconnect you rapidly to source and renew your capacity to act from love. As clarity sharpens, you will begin to recognize the allies placed around you, mentors who speak truth with gentleness, peers who mirror your values, and teams that multiply your capacity to serve. And when such people cross your path, consider them sacred opportunities. Invest in those connections intentionally, share your vision with courageous transparency, and co-create frameworks of mutual support that allow for accountability, creativity, and exponential impact, because collective work accelerates awakening. And when a group is aligned in purpose, the Archangel's influence can move through many more hands than one alone, amplifying the ripple effects of your choices into far-reaching change. Remember the responsibility that comes with influence. Lead with humility, acknowledge the divine source of your wisdom, and refrain from claiming sole authorship of the light you carry, for humility keeps channels clear and invites greater grace, while ego narrows the flow and attracts burdensome mirroring. Teach by example and be generous with credit, for this practice prevents stagnation and models a higher way of leadership for those you guide. There will also be moments when the weight of purpose feels overwhelming, when the scope of what you sense is required outpaces your present capacity. So learn to tier your impact. Begin with what is most immediate and tender in your circle, then widen concentric circles of influence as capacity grows, because systemic change is built from consistent local acts of love and courage, not from sporadic grand gestures. And by pacing your expansion, you avoid burnout and cultivate sustainable legacy work that outlives temporary fervor. Keep financial and logistical stewardship sensible. Create a basic budget for your mission's needs. Seek allies who can help with operational tasks, and consider simple frameworks for monetizing your gifts ethically if resources are needed to scale. Because spiritual work thrives best when practical systems support it rather than hinder it, and heaven often provides human means, funds, partnerships, volunteers. When the mission is stewarded with integrity, as you embrace these practicalities, remain open to miracles, for heaven's economy is not limited by human scarcity. Signs, synchronous provision, and unexpected openings will appear to meet earnest steps of faith, but you must act. Miracles accompany movement, not inertia, and when they come, give thanks loudly and share testimony to encourage others, thereby expanding the field of belief that makes more miracles possible. Finally, beloved soul, be patient with your unfolding. Divine timing is compassionate and precise. And while you are asked to move with sacred urgency, and know that every small faithful act compounds into the great work you were born to do, so continue to say yes, to hold the light, and to steward your gifts with grounded practicality, for in doing so you become the instrument through which heaven's will is enacted on earth, and the legacy you build will be one of healed lineage, awakened communities, and a world more aligned with love because you chose to rise. And now, beloved, as this sacred message draws toward completion, feel the fullness of what has been spoken settling into your spirit like living fire, for this is not simply a flow of words, but a transmission of divine energy meant to awaken, to restore, and to equip you for the days ahead. Understand clearly that you are standing at the edge of a threshold, a liminal place between what has been and what is yet to come. And the choice before you is not whether heaven's plan exists for your life. It does, unshakably, but whether you will fully embrace it, walk in it, and embody it with courage, humility, and love, for the archangels, the host of heaven, and the great cloud of witnesses are not idle spectators but ever-present allies urging you onward, reminding you that your time is now, that your mission is urgent, and that your legacy has been divinely inscribed since before your birth. In this space you are invited to let go of the last remnants of fear, doubt, and hesitation that cling to your soul like shadows from an old dream, and instead step boldly into the radiant clarity of your awakened purpose, knowing that heaven itself rejoices at every small act of surrender, every choice of love over fear, and every moment you decide to trust the unseen hand guiding you. Recognize, too, that you are never abandoned to walk this road alone. When storms come, Michael shields you. When confusion clouds your sight, Gabriel's trumpet clears the air with revelation. When weariness burdens you, Raphael restores strength to your body and calms your anxious mind. And when the challenges of the world press heavily, the circle of divine protection tightens, ensuring that no weapon formed against you prospers. For this is the eternal promise given to those who accept their divine inheritance and align with sacred destiny. You, beloved, are the bridge between realms, the vessel through which heaven's light pours into earth, and every step you take with intention illuminates the path for others who walk in darkness. Every act of compassion becomes a spark that ignites transformation in those near you, and every word spoken in truth reshapes the fabric of reality itself. For the power of your calling is not small but immense, designed to ripple outward across families, communities, and nations, planting seeds of awakening that will blossom long after your individual journey has shifted back into eternal light. Do not underestimate the influence you carry, for though you may perceive yourself as ordinary, heaven sees you as extraordinary, as an essential instrument of the divine symphony being conducted in this generation. And so you are asked to carry this message not only within but outward into action, into the way you love, the way you serve, the way you create, the way you forgive, the way you speak hope into despair and life into what seems broken. Because through these simple but sacred expressions the great work is fulfilled, the work of embodying divine will on earth as it is in heaven. You may wonder if you are capable of sustaining such responsibility, but hear this truth: you are never asked to bear more than what grace equips you to hold, and every ounce of strength you need, every resource, every ally, every inspiration will be delivered at the appointed time when you step forward in faith. It is not about perfection but about persistence, not about being flawless but about being faithful. For heaven measures readiness not by how polished you appear but by how willing you are to say yes, again and again, even when the path is unclear. This is the final call of this message. Rise and step into your destiny fully, without delay, without apology, without shrinking back into the comfort of old stories. For the world is waiting for the light that only you can release, and if you withhold it, no one else can replace it. Heaven has chosen you, equipped you, and positioned you, and though there may be many laborers, your specific assignment is unique, and the gifts within you are irreplaceable. So let your yes resound now and echo into eternity, declaring to the universe that you are willing, you are ready, and you are open to embody the mission entrusted to you. Trust that each step you take will reveal the next. Trust that clarity will come as you walk, and trust that your impact will exceed anything you can currently imagine. Because when you align with divine will, you do not move alone. You move with the current of heaven at your back, the breath of God in your lungs, and the legions of angels flanking your path. And so, beloved, hold this message close. You are loved beyond comprehension, protected beyond measure, and destined for a greatness defined not by worldly acclaim but by eternal resonance. Your name is written in the book of light, your mission is woven into the tapestry of the divine plan, and your legacy is one that will shine as a beacon for generations to come. As you continue forward, remember this truth each day, that heaven's urgency is not meant to frighten you but to awaken you, to stir your heart into action, to remind you that your time is precious and your life sacred. Rise with joy, rise with courage, rise with trust, and rise with the knowledge that you are never walking alone. For the archangels are ever near, God is ever within, and the eternal promise of love surrounds you always. Go forth now, live boldly, love deeply, serve faithfully, and let your light blaze without restraint, for the dawn of your divine destiny has come, and the world is waiting for the gift of you. And if these words have stirred your soul, if they have reminded you of who you truly are and reawakened your connection to the divine, then continue this journey with us. Join the growing circle of seekers and light-bearers who gather to receive ongoing inspiration, guidance, and encouragement, and let this message not be the end but the beginning of deeper transformation. For more divine insights, living revelations, and the continual voice of encouragement from Archangel Michael and the Sacred Host, I invite you to become part of our spiritual family by subscribing to Archangel Inspire on YouTube, where the light continues to flow, where messages such as these are shared regularly, and where together we build a community that supports your awakening and empowers your destiny. Click subscribe. Step fully into the stream of ongoing inspiration, and let us walk this path as one, for your journey is sacred, and your light is needed now more than ever.